So what about the kind of bigger sense? I mean, you're obviously been in the real estate business for a long time. What's your sense of how the industry has changed? Is it just GoodLife, or is this taking the real estate world by storm in general?
It's certainly taken the real estate industry by storm. There is that initial, those of us that have been doing this a long time, it is a transition. I think for many of us, if we run businesses, it is sort of that, where do you start? Where do you take that initial step to try to move from the old way of doing business to this new way of doing business? And you know, what we say is burn the paper, just like burn the boats and start over. So we know that we are early adopters, but we have really been experimenting and using the tech and finding the apps and the solution for a couple of years, and we are working to train the rest of the real estate industry. But we do know that the future's mobile, real estate's mobile. That's why we think iPad was made for real estate, because we're a mobile business, and the industry is slowly but surely going to catch on.
Well, it sounds like, I'm sure you must be in a situation where you're in a home and you're showing your client stuff on the iPad and sort of walking them through, and there must be other people sort of doing it the old way. It must be quite a stark contrast. People sort of look over their shoulder and see you guys using the technology of the future. Do you find yourself sort of proselytizing to other real estate agents?
Well, we do, and the thing is that what we're doing and what Christina has innovated through a new offer that we have is through Coffee with Christina, where we're training other agents. And it could be in our own backyard, it could be anywhere, it could be in Cupertino. We don't really care. Our goal is to take the industry paperless and to make this a better experience for every buyer and every seller, whether it be in Austin, New York City, Seattle, Cupertino, it doesn't matter. And so what it is doing for the people who are adopting those technologies and those practices early is that it is giving them a competitive advantage, because there are very few people out there doing this right now. So what happens is, when you're sitting across the table with that customer and you know you're in competition for that business, you walk out with a business, whereas somebody with the paper, they're doing it the old way. We're doing it the new way. And everybody understands they want to be a part of that new paperless movement.
So we have a question about iCloud, Apple's iCloud, and are you guys employing that? Are you using that to as a back end for your data?
What we're using is, we use iCloud to back up our devices, because, you know, here's the thing, is that I can drop this iPad today. Thank goodness I'm in an awesome Apple store here, but I can drop it today. I know with certainty that everything here is backed up. And so if I have a client meeting in an hour, I can stop by the Apple store, pick up a new one, automatically sync it, and it doesn't disrupt my business. So I'm completely set that way.
Training. Does the new technology require, you know, a new training force to get them up to speed on the technology? Tell us what your experience is with getting people up to speed on the iPad.
Well, the great thing about the times we're in is that training can be on your iPad. So what happened is that I guess we love Apple products. You know, we're the crazy people that stood in line for the first iPhone and then the first iPad. And when we first started using iPad, we didn't realize it was really going to transform our business. That, you know, it was more just being sort of geeky about it versus practical about it, and realizing, like, holy cow, this changes everything. So we just went to work to realize, like, oh man, we can just do better business operators, and provide a better experience by learning to use this. Well, and then we transformed our whole business to become paperless once we had the tools to be able to do that. Well, what happened is that since I speak across the country, and our brokerage is really recognized nationally for sort of this high-tech sort of thought-leading sort of business, is agents across the country would just call or email or try to Facebook us, whatever, and they would say, how are you doing that? Can you teach us what you're doing? So finally, we just realized, like, okay, we'll show you what we're doing. And we really share our full training program that we share with our own agents, which is online video training, and you can use your iPad and you press play, and it will teach you all the different apps in sequential order, very granular. Gary's the guru, so he'll go through, and it's his voice and his fingers on the training.
Are people kicking and screaming, or do you find that they like to do this and like to get up to speed on the technology?
Yes.
Both.
Well, let me, that's it. I love answering that question because now that I'm speaking nationally to the real estate industry, and I have hundreds and sometimes thousands of people in the room really learning what we're doing at GoodLife Team sort of, again, is this little bit more advanced sort of technological small company that other agents and brokers are looking to emulate. Well, so if I start, many times I'll start my presentation and I'll ask this real estate audience, it's only real estate agents, I'll ask them to raise their hand if they have an iPad. What percentage of people do you think raise their hands? Actually, almost everyone. So I think that's fascinating for my own industry that our industry is going out and they're buying the technology, the tools. But then I ask a follow-up question. I say, now how many of you know how to use that iPad to do a full paperless transaction in the field without a need to ever go back to the office or use a fax machine or a scanner or an email for that matter? And none of the hands go up. So to answer your questions is that, yes, I think as an industry, we want to learn these tools. We just don't really know the next step to start employing them in our own business practices.
Right. I imagine once you just give a little bit of a nudge, it's so easy because, 3-year-olds can figure out how to use iPhones and iPads.
It's just taking that initial step.
Right.
But yes, people are just coming to us and coming to us. We're not even trying to do this, honestly. It's just the word's out, and our industry does want to learn how to use it.
Tell us about GoodLife. Tell me about how your business operates.
We are an independent real estate brokerage in Austin, Texas. What that means is we're not affiliated with any sort of big-name national franchise that I think most of us are familiar with. So yes, we're small, we're independent. We're 20 people in Austin, Texas. So to me, that is the power of this technology, the power of these tools, that it's enabled a small company like ours to really make ourselves a name brand in Austin, Texas in 5 short years and build a national brand across the country. And all of our agents are paperless. All of our agents only use iPad. They know how to use this. They're in the marketplace. Our reviews on Google, well, they used to be 5 stars. Now they're 3 out of 3 or something crazy that Google's changed. But we love iPad because it's just changed how we operate as business practitioners. And it's, again, just completely amplified the way we're able to deliver the consumer, a customer experience that would be impossible for a small firm like ours to do, a small business like ours to do without iPad and other technologies.
Christina and Gary, thank you very much.
Thank you.